This video is sponsored by Craftsy. Craftsy is an online community of creative, like-minded makers where members can find endless inspiration, advance their skills, and discover their new favorite hobby. With over 2,000 classes and more than 20 creative categories, there's always something new to learn. Classes are broken down into easy-to-follow lessons with downloads and are led by friendly, award-winning instructors sharing their tips and tricks that will make any creative endeavor a success. Class topics include quilting, sewing, knitting, crochet, painting, drawing, cooking, baking, and cake decorating, among many others, and many more to come. I personally have been enjoying a class on sewing zippered bags as giftable projects. If you're a beginner crafter or a master of your craft, there's always more to learn as a member of Craftsy. Today is the day to become a new member of the Craftsy Creative Community. I have a link provided below to make it super easy. The first 1,000 of my subscribers will get a full year of premium membership to Craftsy for only $1.49. So click that link. Stop dreaming, start learning, and stay inspired. Hello, welcome to Lessons Learned. I'm Sherry, and Blue's down here too. You heard me say the introduction. It gets up for you. He's a star, and he knows it. He's like, "Don't leave me out, Mom. Come on, jump up, jump up. They want to see you. They want to see you." All right, here we go. Mr. Blue. There he is. There he is. Yeah, there he is. Okay, let's get on with the video. Say bye. Say hi and bye, everybody. All right. See how quickly a habit can get formed? He's going to jump down again. Go lay down. Go lay down. Welcome to Finish It Friday, where we see what I've finished and what you have finished, some of you. I did do quite a bit of things this weekend. I did have 2 complete finishes, which unfortunately I don't have full-on pictures of. I don't have any pictures of, actually, but you've seen them before. I got binding on Daphne. That's the one with the pink wolf. And I got a binding made and put on for, which one was it? Oh, the Riley Blake challenge for last year. The one that I built the backing and matched the pattern and all of that. I did that. Got that one all finished. And I ended up using the binding that was on the back, the floral, the kind of mustard yellow gold floral. I put that on the front. Looked really good. If I can get a picture of that, I'll put it up. I don't know if I have time to get it, but if not, maybe I can do it for Monday at least or something. I don't know. And then also I got a backing built for the Daisy and Denim Jolly Bar project I did a while back, and I have it loaded on the long arm, but I did not get a long arm finished this week yet. So there's always tomorrow. The week is not over. Also, I did the finishing for this block that you saw on Wednesday. So you see now it's bigger, and I have all the finishing stuff around it. So I did not get my 2 rows put together like I was wanting to. Remember on Monday I said, oh, I always have big aspirations for the entire week and all this stuff I'm going to do. And usually I get about half of it done. Also, I got Splendid cut out. This is my next Sew Sampler project I'm going to do. There it is. I was waiting for this. This is the big border that goes around the edge. Well, I don't think it's that big, but you know, the wide border for the outer edge. So I need to cut that still, but it just came. I had cut that other stuff before this got here. I got this from Pine Country Quilting or something like that. I had to really go on a search to find this. There was not anywhere. So I did find it. And I paid a stupid price for it. Because that's what happens when you don't get extra fabric when you buy pre-cuts and stuff like that. In the case of the Sew Sampler boxes, you can get a finishing kit with a lot of these. I'm trying to see on this pattern if it says there's a finishing kit. I think some of them do and some of them don't. But at least they do tell you what you need to finish it with. So either they make up a kit you can purchase, or you can just go and get the yardage that it says on the back to get this result. And that's what I was trying to do. Although I did substitute these and the taupe colored little border pieces. Those are called sashing pieces. My brain's not working today. I hope you're doing better than I am. But anyway, I did all of that stuff. Can't think of anything else that I touched. No, so I guess we could just go on into your finishes for the week. I have 10 people who sent their finishes in. Had more than that, but I'm just doing 10 because sometimes there's more than one picture per 10, so per email. So anyway, I have to limit it somewhere, or we'll be editing and making a very long video all the time, which wouldn't be a too awful thing, I don't imagine, for the watching end of it. But for the making end of it, it's quite a bit to do. Alright, here's your finishes for this week. First up, we have Lynn. Lynn says, this is the finished quilt from our sew along last year. Gifted to my granddaughter, held up with my son. Yes, this was the Scrappy Celebrations, and I was looking back to see when we started this, and it was last summer, not this past, but 2024. It was around in the summertime. I'm not for sure exactly which month, but it has been almost a year and a half now that we did Scrappy Celebrations. Yours turned out great. I love this pattern. Everybody's turned out just a little bit different depending on what scraps you used. The good thing is it's a very scrap friendly pattern, and you can't really go wrong with it. It turns out good no matter what your scraps are. So good job getting that done. I'm sure your granddaughter is enjoying it. Next we have Janice. She says, attached is my latest quilt, which is a modified Lori Holt Scarecrow pattern. I made this for a friend who just loves novelty quilts. Thank you for all your inspiring videos. You're welcome. Love your cute little scarecrow here. I remember seeing the pattern. I don't know what the modifications are that you've done. I don't remember it that well, but it's very cute. I like the leaves. I think some of the leaves maybe you've added. And the scarecrow's not doing his job, is he? He's got a crow right there on his arm. But this is a beautiful fall quilt. Very cute. Good job. The next one is Dee Dee, and she says this is a toddler quilt top. It's ready to sandwich and quilt. The toddler's name is centered at an angle in a pretty pink script type font within the same gold frame as the princesses, and is covered for privacy. You can see that down there in the lower right. She says all the embroidery designs are built into my sewing embroidery quilting machine. I've had the machine since 2019 and just recently had a reason to use the Disney designs. My daughter requested a quilt for a baby girl turning 1 this month. So good for you, getting that fancy machine out and using those Disney princesses to make a baby girl a quilt. Turned out very, very cute and very delicate. Next we have Cheryl. She says, here's my latest finish. The quilt block pattern is from Bonnie Hunter's 4-Patch Fun Leader and Ender Challenge she released this summer on her blog. The quilt block consists of 2 4 patches with 2 strips of fabric sewn on each side of the 4 patches. I used my new foundation paper pieced pattern postage stamp strips for the outer border. I was able to piece and trim the outer postage stamp border in 2 evenings. Plus, the precision was right on when sewing the border onto my quilt. Postage stamp strips are so much faster than normal chain piecing since there is no pre-cutting of your fabrics. Plus, I was able to use up my smaller leftover fabric scraps from piecing the center quilt blocks. This quilt is queen bed size or 94 inches square. And she says postage stamp strips can be found at her website, heartfeltquiltdesign.com. Let's take a look here. Okay, so you have your 4 patches in the center, and then you have 2 side pieces on each one. Interesting. And then you used some paper piecing to do your little inner border. Very good. Yeah, I see it now. Actually, you have 1 little square and then 2 side pieces, and then when you put 4 of those together, you get your block. Very impactful, very nice for scraps. I love it. Next we have Annie. This particular quilt that she has sent in this week has a story to it. She says, about 10 years ago, my husband David decided he wanted to learn to quilt. So I gave him some of my scraps and taught him how to use the machine and get his 1/4-inch seams, and told him I was not quilting them for him as I had enough quilting to do myself. He worked on some scrap blocks for a while, but decided he wanted to do a log cabin. So I drew him a diagram and got him started on that. He made quite a few blocks, but appeared to lose interest. At the same time, he started to have mild symptoms that just seemed to be the onset of old age, so we weren't worried. Then along came COVID, and he had an extreme case involving 3 weeks in the hospital and longer in rehab. He never recovered and was in and out of the hospital several times. It turns out he has Parkinson's, and COVID escalated the onset. About 3 months ago, he brought me the scraps and the strips and the blocks and told me he wasn't going to be doing anything with them and I could do with them anything I wanted. So I put them together, and it turns out I was quilting them after all. I finished it last week, and he's going to use it this winter in his chair when he gets cold this winter. It shows that love finishes other people's UFOs. The second picture has the corner turned up to show the back. I pieced the back out of strips I trimmed off of other quilts, so the 108-inch backings are not necessarily wasted. I like a scrappy back to match a scrappy front. I really enjoy spending the time with you while I'm sewing. I feel like I am in good company. Oh, thank you, Annie. Thank you so much for watching. This is a very nice story. He did put a pretty good dent in the blocks from what you're telling us here. I hope he enjoyed his time quilting, and I certainly hope he's doing well and keeping warm under that quilt. But just talking about your quilt here, it's kind of a collaborative effort, yours and his, correct? And so we see we have the log cabin blocks, and they're arranged in kind of a diamond sort of pattern, sort of there. And then we see you used your leftover 108 pieces for the backing. Yes, you can absolutely use those big swaths of fabric that's left over from those to build a new backing, and we see that's what you've done here. So very good. Yes, you did end up finishing someone else's UFO, and it is a labor of love, but I'm sure he's going to enjoy it. Thanks for sharing that, Annie. Next we have Anja. She says, last weekend I finished this scrap quilt. It's made from 1.5 inch, 2.5 inch potato chips. There are more than 2,100 pieces in it. The quilt measures 53 by 83. I like how it turned out except for the border, but it's done. For the back, the giant potato chips measure 6 inches and 12.5 inches. Thank you for sharing my quilt to the world. Yes, Anja, we always love to share your quilts. So we see on the front there all those 2,100 pieces that you used for your potato chip blocks. And then on the back, you mimicked it with a giant version. That's pretty cool. It's like one giant block that matches the small ones on the front. That's pretty slick. Very nice. Vicky, she says, these are pictures of the 4 little shirts I made using your idea. That being the reverse applique. The smallest is 2T. The largest is child medium. They are Hello Kitty, Paw Patrol, Harry Potter, and Star Wars. I cannot thank you enough for this great idea. I have made at least 25, giving many to friends and family. Wow, Vicky, you took this idea and really ran with it. Love the little guys and gals sweatshirts here. I hope they love them too, being in those themes. No doubt they will. I think my favorite is the little pink one with the Hello Kitty. Very cute. Lisa, she says, I made this quilt for her 90-year-old aunt. She needed a fast pattern. It's a free one from the Fat Quarter Shop, Charm Stars by Riley Blake. For the quilting, I free motion some meander flowers. I enjoy seeing everyone's finishes. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for sending yours in, Lisa. I love this. And wow, you do such a great job on your quilting for free motion. This is really nice. You've got talent. I love the blues and the golds together. Those are very pretty. Very pretty. Next we have Pam. She says, here are 2 very easy and simple patterns that came together so quickly. The pinwheel one is a fabric cafe pattern, and using neutral stripes always end up looking like wood grain to me, so it seems right in this retro aeronautical aesthetic. She says, some artists go through blue periods. I think I'm going through my Keep It Simple Sherlock period, Kiss period for now, and it's great. Really enjoying all your videos. Keep them coming. Yeah, and that's a good remedy for the blue periods, is to get something out that's super simple and get to working on that. Get yourself a quick finish, and that brings you right out of the quilting blues. Very nice job. Very nice patterns. The last ones are from Yvette, and she says the fabric on the first one here is from 2025 All Florida Shop Hop from my local shop, A&E Fabrics. It is 42 inches square. Yes, it has all the beautiful Florida themed items there. I love the blues and the oranges together always. And your quilting pattern really gave a lot of movement on this. I hope you're enjoying that in your home. And then the next one, she says, I made this for my mom. She picked out the butterfly running yardage, and I found a free spirit pattern that I modified a little bit to make it bigger. It finished at approximately 60 by 72. Yeah, that's a pretty good size. So we see here the fabric is butterfly themed. So the butterfly blocks that you put across the top and the bottom mimics that theme. I love the ombre fabric. The choice that she made was beautiful, starting with those deep, rich blue and purple. Those are hydrangeas, I believe. And then moving on up into the darker part of the sky, and then the lighter part of the sky, and all of the butterflies. Very, very pretty. Okay, that's it for this week. Let's get back to the video. Alrighty, great stuff as usual, right? Lots of ideas, lots of inspiration, lots of neat stories. I like those stories. This weekend, I'm just going to continue on. Maybe I'll get some of these put together into rows. I have 6 now, so I could make 2 rows. Maybe I'll get started on this. Maybe I'll get that long-armed, loaded quilt quilted. Maybe I'll do something totally different, but I will be doing something. So I hope you will be doing something too. Be sure and come back on Monday for Monday Quilt Chat, where we see what's going on in my quilting world and the quilting world in general. I have some recent acquisitions to show you. I'll be showing you my progress again, just like I did today. And who knows what else. I'm sure we'll have something interesting to talk about on Monday as well. So come on back for Monday. All right, we will see you then. So until then, have a great weekend.